Thanks, Peter, and sorry I played the first half of my soccer game and get over here, otherwise I'm eating too much weight doing all these meetings and lunches and suppers. But I want to thank you for taking the time to come out tonight, and I thought it'd be a good opportunity to maybe just explain a little bit about the situation, because I think, quite honestly, there's a lot of fear out there that is unfounded in many ways, and I hope that maybe I can help set aside some of that fear. First of all, there's not one person on the City Council that wants to ruin Riverside Park. I think we have to be really clear about that. No one on this City Council wants to do anything but improve our waterfront. That means better access, more amenities, make it safer, secure, and it's got to be there for our kids and grandkids and their grandkids. I mean, it's something you don't take back. So I think, Nancy has probably made that point that you lose it, you lose it. Having said that, we went through an extensive public process 2 years ago when we were looking at ways and means of filling a real economic gap that we have in the city of Kamloops. When you look at cities our size around the province, it's clear that we lack a 4 to 5 star hotel in the downtown area combined with meeting space. There's tremendous business potential for hosting what's called the V circuit on conference and convention meeting circuits, and that's conferences from about 800 to about 1,400 people. We miss out on opportunities to host those conferences, and those conferences bring a lot of economic benefit to a city. So without that meeting space, we run the risk of having a gap that, while we don't miss that gap now, when economic times are really great, if we have another downturn, which in traditional resource-based economies always happens at some time, then that's when we're going to say, gee, I wish we had something to fill that gap. So unless we do something to be proactive now, we'll miss that opportunity. So we went through this public process 2 years ago. We had a public meeting. There was more people at that public hearing than are here today. And the decision was made, not unanimous of course, but the decision was made to approve the rezoning of that property for a proposal that was before us at the time. Now, that proposal was an extensive geotechnical study and looked at that land behind Interior Savings Center that was being rezoned. I basically said the infrastructure costs to put in a foundation for a building in that area would be extremely high, at least $4 million before you can get out of the ground. And they kept thinking about it. We said, listen, make up your mind, or let's move on. And the costs were just too much, so they pulled away. We said, well, that's fine. That gives us an opportunity to review the situation. We bought the lot across the way where the ice cream is for about $1.8 million, which we're using as a parking lot at the moment, with the hopes that that would prove another alternative. We've had some interest in hotel development, but I've got to say up front that not one of the people that we've talked to at this point has said they want to go right behind Interior Savings Center where the last proponent was talking about. For the same reasons, the infrastructure costs are high and the footprint is very small, so it makes it very difficult to make it economically feasible given the construction costs of putting a hotel there. So the question naturally is, well, why don't you just rezone it back to parkland? And that's a very good question. Let me address that head on. The reason that we don't want to do that at this time, and I stress at this time, is that we want to have options and flexibility. Is it likely that a hotel will go back there? If you ask me, I'd say 95% no. But what else could go back there? Well, one of the things that we've looked at over the years to increase the business case of Interior Savings Center and decrease the tax requirement from you to run that facility is to put meeting rooms on that facility and banquet facilities on that facility. Now that wouldn't obviously go up 14 or 13 stories like a hotel, so you wouldn't need the pilings that you would need, so the infrastructure cost would be low. It wouldn't go out nearly as far as that hotel proposal called for, so we'd only use part of that parking lot, in fact just the upper half, not even the lower half. But we don't know who's going to do that. If we went for that model, would the city put $10 million into that facility, or would we have a third party, a private individual come forward and say, well, you know what, if we can work with the city to put a hotel on the other property, we'll build that facility there. And if we do that, we need it zoned as it's zoned at the moment. If we zone it back to parkland, we don't have that flexibility. Now, if we were to take a small footprint of that area to put on those types of facilities, sure, we could rezone the rest of it back to park at that time. But I guess what I'm saying is we need to have some flexibility because we don't know what the landscape is out there. I don't build hotels. No one at the city is in the business of building hotels. So we want to give our city, you folks, the best opportunity to take advantage of that whole area down there. I was just in Calgary, and some of you probably know the Eau Claire area down in Calgary. It's right down Prince's Island by the River. Sheraton Hotel is right there, and you can walk out of the Sheraton Hotel onto Eau Claire, past the Eau Claire YMCA, and right into Prince's Island Park. It's a wonderful facility. Many of you who have seen that probably agree it's really well done. And I think that's possible to do something like that down there. This proposal that we had before, is it going to happen? No, I really don't think it is. But we do need to have some flexibility to work with people that put their hard-earned dollars forward to come through to give what the city needs. So, you know, I think, as I say, sometimes there's some fear being raised here. It sounds great and it looks great on billboards and placards, but I guess I hope that you know that people on city council, and you know all of them very well, I think, are the last people that want to wreck our waterfront or wreck our waterfront. So, having said that, I'm sure willing to take any questions.
Thanks for the round of applause.
Yeah, fun.